Hey everyone, here's Emilia. I'm a recruiter at RecruitHer, and in today's video, I would like to go through a few CVs or snippets of few CVs that I've been working on with different candidates. I'm a recruiter and I help candidates whenever there is a live role, but I also coach/mentor anyone who is within the education and EdTech space and need some guidance when it comes to the job search and securing more interviews and eventually the role. So on the left-hand side, you have a little snippet out of from the CV of a particular individual who is a vice principal at Multi-Academy Trust. And what you can obviously see at the moment is that it's a very short description of what they currently do. It's not really focused on the outcomes. It's really generic and doesn't give you a lot about the individual. Whereas on the right-hand side, there is a little bit more polished version. So after looking into different job roles and the key words, key phrases, they paraphrase their CV, focusing more on the outcomes. In my opinion, those outcomes could be also supported by numbers, for example, but it's a try and error in a way when it comes to your CV and sending your CV. So definitely the right-hand side information looks much more polished. I think it gives you more information about what they've been actually doing, who they worked with. And it's definitely more tailored towards the EdTech market and what the person wants to do. So they want to transition from education into EdTech. And I think that the jargon and terminology is definitely more related to EdTech rather than education. The one below is someone working in the marketing department in an EdTech. It's not necessarily Echo 360, but after having a conversation with them, it obviously was obvious that they focused mainly on the day-to-day responsibilities, not necessarily the outcomes. And I think when it comes to marketing and sales and maybe sometimes product, you can definitely include some numbers, if not maybe percentages. And so you can see that on the right-hand side. So there is more impact or influence, or the outcomes are highlighted, stipulating sometimes the outcomes in a percentage. So that's really nice to see. And last but not least, that's someone who is in more kind of operational role. I know they're looking for operational role, this particular person, but prior to that, they were a CRM and sales marketing manager. They were actually doing a number of different things. You can see a number of different bullet points that describe their responsibilities on the left. And on the right, you can see a more polished version of that particular role, where the particular individual tried to include the outcomes, focusing on the numbers, percentages, the teams they worked with, also including some keywords. And I think that the fact that the keywords are there is not necessarily because they knew what keywords to use, but they looked closely into the job description. And within that job description, they noticed different keywords. And so we included those in the new and polished version of their CV, and part of it you can see here. Yeah, just wanted to share that with you. This is what I'm noticing almost every day when CVs are being shared with me, and we go through the CVs, and then when we start working together, we basically go deeper into the particular individuals and what they did and how their experience might be reflected in their future role. And then we compare the job description with their outcomes. And so we are able to position that particular individual so that they secure an interview and eventually their job, the next role. So yeah, if you would like to work with me and find out what isn't necessarily working with your CV, why you're not securing jobs, and how we can paraphrase your CV so that it stands out in the current very candidate-heavy job market. Obviously, everyone is using AI at the moment, so it's very important to understand how you can separate yourself from the crowd, but also how to make sure that you're using the keywords that ATS systems are very often looking for. I hope this was useful. Feel free to reach out and ask any questions or book a call. I hope to speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.